Hey guys, what's going on? This is Pants Our Dragon, and today we'll be doing a little video on Rumble in the jungle without the skin. Yeah, without the skin because I'm too cheap. But basically, if you guys haven't heard, Rumble was played in the jungle in the LCS, and now he's showing up a little bit in solo queue. Although I did see him in solo queue before he was in LCS, I didn't really think much of it and thought it was kind of stupid. But I guess it's been appearing a lot more in solo queue. So that's why I'm going to be doing a little video and a guide on how to play Rumble and just a little bit of my thoughts. So with all that being said, let's get started on this video. Alright, so one of the reasons why he is being played in jungle is because of the Runic Echoes, like every other jungler I've actually done in the past few weeks. Now, one good synergy with Rumble and Runic Echoes is his base movement speed is 345. I did screw up in my Gragas video where his was actually 330, but this time I double checked and I got it correct. But basically he's going to be really fast with percent movement speed, and he can be very mobile around the map, especially with his W, giving him movement speed too. The next big thing I want to emphasize a lot with Rumble is he does have really good clears, surprisingly. So he has really good clears because all his skills can be spammed, since he does have an infinite resource technically, so he can just keep spamming Q, W, and E. Although I do know that his Q does half damage to minions and monsters, it's still good for clears. He also has his overheat passive to take down monsters faster, and his W lets him actually not take a lot of damage in the jungle. So I do feel like his early game clears are really good. Next up, he also has pretty good base damage, and when he has a full pen build, he's really strong. So he's got some damage in him. And he's actually a pretty good duelist because his Q, does a bunch of damage to champions, and it's up pretty often. So he's actually someone you don't want to really screw around with. And overall, he actually has a pretty decent early game. Now, there are some cons about Jungle Rumble that I do feel he has, and one of them is that he falls off late game. Compared to someone like Diana who can burst squishies and is melee and scales really good with AP, Rumble on the other hand, he kinda falls off a bit because enemies starts getting MR, and you can see his damage is not actually there anymore, it's kinda going away, and he's not the best tank, so all he really is this guy who slows people with his R, his E, and I guess his Q if you have Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Since he's not the best tank, he's very prone to getting nuked down. And he's somewhat useless when he's behind. Even though he does have great base damage, he needs kind of like M-Pen items to help that do more damage, and there's not a lot of utility in him. But that's about it for cons while we get into the build. So first off, we're going to be doing masteries, and we go 12-0-18 into it, a basic jungle page. And then for runes, we go attack speed reds, health per level yellows, magic resist per level blues, and ability power quints. Now you might be wondering why we take attack speed for the reds. Is it because we want to utilize the overheat passive in the jungle so we get better clears? He also has 0.644 base attack speed, so it's a little bit above average. And finally, you're probably wondering about the item build. It goes a little something like this. As you can see, I'm emphasizing on the M-Pen while trying to be beefy. For the jungle item, you can go Tracker's Knife if you want, but I like to go Skirmishers and duel people. But I do not recommend Stalker's Blade because you have a lot of slows already. Situational items include Swiftness, Rabadon's Deathcap, and Zhonya's. The only time I would go Swiftness is if I'm rushing Rylai's Crystal Scepter after I'm done my Runic Echoes. And the reason I would do that is because I want to be more of a utility Rumble than a damage Rumble. I would only do that if my goal was to catch people, I guess. But the M-Pen build is definitely good for team fights. Now for skill order, you want to prioritize R over Q, over E, over W. And then you want to start Q and then get your W second. Then of course get your E at level 3. Next up, we're going to be giving you some tips for you guys. And the first tip is you want to get your heat to above plus 80 before the game starts, so you have that overheat plus danger zone for your flame spitter. This way your first clear is going to be super fast and you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Next up, tip number 2, in general, you want to watch your heat levels. So depending on how much heat you have with Rumble, you want to see how much spells you can use next before you overheat. So for instance, if I want to do more damage and I had 90 heat, I'd probably want to use my Q. But if I'm trying to catch someone, it'd be my E. If I want to get away, it'd be my W. But one thing for sure is before a team fight starts, make sure you aren't overheating already, because you can't cast your R when you're overheated. Only your second charge of your E. For the next tip, use your R when enemies can't escape it. So when enemies use your dash or enemies who don't have a lot of mobility, or champions who are vulnerable to Rumble's ultimate. It's really good as a follow-up initiation if you have some sort of initiation like Malphite ult or something like that. But it's not really the best initiator since it does damage per second, and you want people to stay in your equalizer. For our next tip, in battle, wait until your heat drops to like a 5 number. The reason you do this is because you can get an extra spell cast before overheating. It's kind of hard for me to explain what I'm trying to say, but basically 5 spells will equal 100 heat. While if you just wait until you drop 1 tick of heat, and then you can cast 6 spells before overheating. Hopefully this makes sense. Otherwise, I might feel like an idiot, and I don't want that to happen. And now here's a trick for you guys. If you guys spam laugh with Rumble, you will make annoying sounds. This is a really good trick for top lane. You annoy the shit out of your enemy, while in the jungle, you annoy only yourself. Here is what it sounds like. Okay, that was annoying. So anyways, let's wrap it up. So final conclusions about my thoughts on Rumble. I think he's pretty good in jungle, maybe better than top lane, but I don't think he's top tier jungle. I think he's more of a niche pick jungler. Like, I think there's several better AP junglers like Nidalee, Elise, and Gragas, but I mean, if they're all banned, I'll definitely play him. But there's also physical damage junglers like Graves, or if you prefer tank junglers, but I'm just talking about, you know, the AP jungler category. He's definitely high up there in the AP category, and Rumble as a jungler is definitely something unique and out of the blue, and it's definitely very fun, especially in the early game where I was surprised from his clears. So I recommend trying it out in Nermos, but if you like it a lot, maybe try it out in rank, but in no way do I think he is OP. But let me know your opinion in the comments below on Rumble Jungle. You've heard my thoughts on him, and now I just want to hear your thoughts. Anyways, if you did like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more feature videos like this. And I am Panther Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.